'Twas the day after Christmas, and we're back. Everyone, happy holidays. I hope that you and yours had a good one. Today on the show, we're back in full force with a full day of gaming. I want to tell you all about my Christmas because actually, it was one of the best in recent memory, like maybe even the last 10 plus years. It was a superb holiday for me, and I want to tell you all about what we were up to. Also, today on the show, we're going to be messing with this guy because now that I have a boom mic arm, we have to figure out how to use it more effectively, how to make me sound better, where it looks better, etc. So we're going to mess around with that a little bit on today's show. And of course, I am very excited for the near future. We can now start focusing on things such as my year-end series and what's new in 2025. So get your leftovers warmed up, loosen your pants, sit back and relax. It's time for the post-Christmas chill episode of the Level 1 Podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo!
Alrighty, everyone. So, indeed, Christmas is over. And so, we now have to pack up all of the red hats and the tinsel and the holly and the wreaths until next year. Yeah, right. No way. As you know, here on DSPGaming, I keep the stuff going, at least for another week. I feel like if you're going to take the time to dedicate to decorate and do all of this stuff, that basically you should keep it going at least until the new year. And so you're going to see around here, I'm going to keep up the festive fun for about one more week. Once we hit 2025, that is actually when I will be doing new backgrounds. Well, not new backgrounds, but new animations for contributions. You won't see the Christmas stuff here on the digital frame anymore, but one more week of the festivities until the year end, all right? So first off, before we even begin, I hope that you and yours all had an absolutely great Christmas. This year, obviously, we had a lot going on. For me particularly, if you can't tell, I mean, just taking a look, if you haven't been here, imagine if you haven't been here for like 2-3 months, right? I haven't checked out Phil's stuff in 2-3 months. Let's see how he's doing after Christmas. What in the holy hell is going on over there? Right? You'd be blown away. So, yeah, for all of you, I hope you had a safe and fun one. I had a really great Christmas. Like, no exaggeration, probably one of the best I've had that I can even remember. Because people always say, well, what was the best Christmas you ever had? What was the best present you ever had? I'll say this. When I was a kid, the best present I ever got was the Super Nintendo. And as an adult, the best present I ever got was to spend a whole day with my wife and my cat, but my wife yesterday, and everything pretty much went right. Like, I can't even think about a single negative thing that happened. We got to relax with each other all day long, cook, eat, game, relax. Like, everything went well. Okay, it wasn't exactly 100% perfect, but nothing in life is, right? And I'll tell you all about it. Now, listen, if you're expecting some exciting story, you're probably not going to get it. But if you're an adult and you want to hear a story of relaxing and fun, you're in the right place because, man, it was a good one. And I even told you guys that's what I was looking for, right? Like, I was just looking to have a relaxing day with my wife. And people ask me this year, what do you want? That's it. That's literally all I wanted. I didn't want any physical things, right? Don't send me a gift or monetary stuff. I just want to have a good day with my wife, and I got it. And that's the best Christmas present that you can have when you get older. So I am excited to share that story with all of you. All right, that's one of the major focuses of today's show. Also, as you can see, I have a new boom mic arm. Now, the improvements to the studio ever improve. And now I actually feel confident calling this a studio. Previously, it was just a musky, dark room full of equipment That was not well set up. That was not well executed. It was just a mess for a decade. But now I actually have a studio, and I feel confident about it. So, FYI, some of the improvements I'm trying to make right now are, audio-visual stuff. Visual, I think we've really gotten to a point where, the lighting's better, the camera's better, the capture quality and streaming quality is better. But now it's time to kind of tweak a little bit with the audio. And everyone who does this professionally has a good mic system, except for me. For a decade, I had this microphone sitting on a very low-grade tripod. It was always in the shop. It was always badly placed. And because of that, I was just like, man, the audio was what it was. It wasn't even until earlier this year that I started messing with microphone filters, which I could have been using for the greater part of a decade, right? So now, with the new setup, I've been messing with different boom arms. I actually got two, okay? Well, first of all, I got this weighted, like stand to put on the desk. It didn't really work. We used it for a day, and it wasn't really working. It was kind of like not doing the angles that I wanted, and it wasn't giving me the flexibility that I wanted. So I actually ordered two different brands of microphone boom arm, and I guess we'll get into it now. Let's cover this now before we get to the Christmas story. Why not just, cover this topic? So, here's the deal with trying to order stuff online, okay? You cannot trust how anything looks. You cannot trust online reviews. None of it is trustworthy. Zero. You can't tell anything, right? You just can't. It's so confusing. And even pricing to some extent. You might think, oh, I'm paying more for this one than this one. It'll be better. Even that isn't necessarily the case. You're looking on a place like Amazon. Okay, microphone boom arms. Well, they all are generally the same product. But some look different than others. Some claim to have more features than others. The reviews are such bullshit. Oh yeah, this one has 3,000 positive reviews. But how many are real and how many are botted and how many are bought? Because a lot of these companies are like, oh, if you buy our product and then you go leave a positive review, we send you something free. That actually happened to me a few years ago. I bought this fan off Amazon that was supposed to be a quiet fan. And it outright said, if you leave the review after the fact, we will send you another fan for free. And they did. So, it's all a game, right? It really is. So, right now, here's my setup. I have a boom arm from one company, and I'm actually using a clamp from another company. What do you mean, Phil? Well, I ordered two boom arms. All right, both of them had similar ratings. They were both around like 30, 40 bucks each, okay? And I'm like, well, let me try two, because I can easily return stuff from Amazon. All you got to do is process it, bring it to the local Kohl's store. Not a big deal. Let's try them, right? So I order them. They both show up, and they both look almost the same. They almost look like the same product, right? And you open them up, and you try to adjust. One of them is easily maneuverable, adjustable, seems pretty heavy duty, seems like great quality craftsmanship. Even has this place inside. You can take a piece of rubber off the back, and you can actually put your microphone wire through this channel and then put the piece of rubber back in. So it holds, it's like hidden mic cable management. I'm like, oh, that's a nice feature, right? So this is the boom arm that I was actually using just a couple days ago for the first time. But the problem is the clamp they gave you was terrible. It was like a really low-end clamp. It didn't have a good grip. It wasn't even like deep enough to really grab the end of a table. So I go to put it on my table and I get it on there tight and I'm using it and all of a sudden it falls off during the stream the other day. And I'm like, well, that's obviously not ideal. We can't have that happening. So then I come to find out none of these clamps really work with this style of table that I have in front of me. This is a laptop table I've had for a decade that has a curved bottom. It's not like a chunky square at the end. Instead, it's like this weird like curved bottom that's like kind of contoured to be stylish, but nothing will clamp on this now. So then I put the clamp on this one, which is my new table that I just bought that I can roll around. It's like a computer desk. And it fit better, but even then it wasn't great. So I was like, well, wait a minute. The clamp on the other one looks good. Let me try the other arm. So actually, after my stream the other day, I installed the other arm. It sucked. It was stiff. It was not easily maneuverable at all. And it didn't even seem to really like to want to move and stay in the places that I wanted it to. So right now, what I have is a Frankenstein setup. What a surprise, right? I'm using the clamp from the arm that's not very good, but I've combined that with the arm that's better, and that's what I'm using. And I've clamped it onto this movable desk. So now when I'm podcasting, I have the ability to flexibly move this around. I can even get it, look, closer to me if I so choose to make it sound better, right? I can move it around easily, like very maneuverable, which is very nice. I like that flexibility. You know, if you say, oh, can't hear you too good, well, I can maneuver it into a different position, and now you guys can hear me much better, right? So that's a good thing. But now when I game, I can turn over here, and I can actually, like, fold it up, and I can have it going over here. So we have this maneuverability now with the mic, with this boom arm, okay? So that's cool, right? And that's something, again, I'm just catching up with technology. This is something that everyone has had for a long time. Anyone who does this professionally has had this kind of stuff, and I never did. You know, now I can actually sound as good as everyone else and have all the features that everyone else has had for a long time. What I'd like to do is I would like to mess with it a little bit today on the show. I'm going to ask for your feedback. Does it sound better here? Does it look better here? Because right now, I probably sound good because the microphone is literally right in front of my face. But as you can see, it's way on camera. Look, it's really hanging, you know, off. I have the ability to make this go really high up and then bend it down if I wanted to. And now it's almost completely off camera, right? But now I don't know how I sound because I'm talking straight and the microphone's there. This is what they call, I believe they call this is it a condenser mic or a cardioid mic? Basically, the way this mic works, it stands up and it captures audio in the front. It's really good at capturing audio in the front, okay? But it's not good at capturing audio from other directions. We tested this the other day. I tried talking into the top of the mic. Want to test that right now? So now I'm going to talk into the top of the mic. Ready? Hey everyone, I'm talking directly into the top of the mic right now. How does that sound? Muffled, right? Because this is not a mic designed for this. There are microphones designed for that, but not this one. Correct? Now, can we confirm that this is sounding more muffled? It sounds the same? Does it? This sounds the same to you guys right now? Really? Because if so, I mean, that's amazing, because this might even be better doing it that way, because we tested it the other day, and you guys said that it didn't sound as good. It sounds the same. Well, that's excellent. If that's the case, we might even have more maneuverability than I expected. Sounds a bit dry, but sounds good. Super Bonchon says, no, it sounds horrible. Well, can we see what I mean? This is why I need feedback. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. Because there are microphones designed that you aim the tip at you. And those usually pick up more sound in the atmosphere, but they're more directed. So like this, you could target at you and aim it in the word, right? What do you guys think? Because it's, again, this is not supposed to be that kind of microphone. This microphone is supposed to be like this. It's like a wind tunnel. AMS says it's like a wind tunnel now. This microphone's supposed to be used like this. Okay? Just like that, where I talk directly into the front. That's the design. They do have microphones that you can get, and it would be an easy swap because it's the same cable, XLR cable. All you need to do is get the different type of microphone where you aim at the top, and it's just a different way to pick up the audio. All right? So I don't sound the same when I tilt it. It picks you up much better this way. That's what I thought. This is the kind of mic it is. It's meant to be a mic that you talk to the front, okay? Now, here's a question. So you hear me now. I'm talking directly to the front of the mic, okay? Now, let's try to maneuver it a little higher. People are saying it sounds much better this way. I'm glad to hear that's what I thought. Much better bass, exactly. This is now picking up the full range of my voice, including bass and everything. And that's the difference. If I have it far away, you don't hear any bass, okay? Let me try something. I want to see how high can I make this microphone like off camera, right? So now it's like way above off camera, okay? And now if I angle it down like that. So how does that sound? Does this sound just as good? Now, I'm going to talk directly to the camera rather than talking up at the mic. I'm just going to talk straight. And I'm curious, does this sound the same that it just did, or has it already sounding worse? Because it very well could be. This mic is over a decade old. It's still a great mic. It's Audio-Technica. It's a really high-grade mic. I paid a lot of money for it over a decade ago. I think it was over $100, the microphone. Okay? So it stood the test of time. It's never had an issue. But it is the type of mic that you have to be talking directly at the face of it. If you don't, it doesn't sound as good. It's the same. Okay. Not much difference at all. Okay. So what I'm going to eventually want to do, I'm going to want to figure out a way to get it to sound great, but not be on camera as much. Okay. I feel like if it's up here, it's not a big deal. When it was like here, it was blocking my arms, my body. You know, when you do this, when the mic is up here, now look, you can see me fully with the shot. The AI shot can now catch all of my arms, all of my body. Even here, I turn the game. See, it's catching my whole body. It's not erasing parts of my body. That's ideally what you want. You see, you want to have as high as possible and get it off camera. That's what most professionals do. Or there's another thing that they do, but this wouldn't work for me. They have what's called a very low angle mic. The low angle ones, okay, you put way down low on your desk and you try to get them under your camera, but that's never really going to work for me, especially because the way I'm gaming now, it's going to block my whole arm and everything if I were to have one like that. Or it would block my line of sight to the TV. So I don't want that. A lot of people are using that because they're more like PC gamers sitting at a desk with the monitors right in front of them, but I don't have that. So I don't think that would work. Get a Shure SM7B microphone and point it down. Yeah, is that a good one? Let me take a look. Probably super expensive. Watch this. Shure SM7B. Here it is. Oh yeah. For low price of $359. Oh, pittance, right? That's like I fart out that kind of money. Right? Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Of course. $359. Limited time deal. Oh, yeah. Limited time deal, my ass. I'm trying to see what it uses. Does it just use XLR cable? I mean, I'm probably not getting a $360 mic. That seems a bit excessive. But this is the kind that you would dangle from this boom arm and point directly at you. What's weird is I'm not sure it uses the XLR cable. It says XLR, but I'm not seeing it use an XLR cable. Oh, wait, I think it is. Is that it right there? It is. It uses XLR. It's just upside down. Okay. Because my whole setup would work. I would just need the new microphone. Oh, $360 is a big ask. That's so expensive, man. Damn, they even sell one that has the built-in preamp. See, I have the preamp, the Scarlett over here. That's what I've used for a decade, and my preamp is fine. But, damn. It has one with a built-in preamp for only $450. Oh, what a steal. Lexamar says, it's cutting out my voice when I move away. So let's test this. So when I'm talking over here, you can't hear me. When I'm talking here and here, you can hear me. But when I'm talking over here, you can't hear me. That's typical. Pretty typical. Keep in mind, the microphone used to be here. So it would catch everything in a range, right? But the problem now is because I'm going to be gaming over here for PC gaming, I need to have the microphone in this vicinity. The Shure is what 99% of all big podcasters use. There's a lower end Shure MV7 that's $250 and a great choice for the price point. But this is definitely the kind that you can aim, that you aim directly at you. And it's definitely the more modern version of everything. Yeah. I would just have it go right here, and it would aim right there, and then the XLR would go there. Yeah. Well, I'll think about it. I mean, that's super expensive. I don't know if I want to spend that much. That's quite expensive. Maybe, like you said, there's a similar one that's a lot cheaper. Have to see. Simply the first choice for voice. I like how they... the first choice for voice. Oh, yeah? Lexamar says, we can still hear you when you're facing away, but it sounds muffled. So this is still an awesome upgrade, especially when you're gaming. Love the upgrades to your setup lately. Thank you. The cost of doing business. Well, no. Admittedly, here's the deal. I want to do all the upgrades before the end of the year. Anything that I buy right now is basically an end of the year tax write-off. So all these upgrades I'm doing are all tax write-offs for the end of 2024. So it makes more sense to do them all before the end of December than to hold off. So I might do it. We'll see. I'll think about it. No, we're not. Could everyone shut up about RGB? People are just being stupid. Everything has to be RGB. No, it doesn't. They do. They have. I'm not even kidding you. They have RGB boom arms. RGB boom arms. Who the hell's gonna see the RGBs on that? The idea of a boom arm is to keep them off the camera. That's why you have the boom arm. So everything's off camera. Why would you want an RGB boom arm? Right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just silly. Mount the mic upside down. It's too high right now. You mean spin it upside down? I could. Let me see. Well, that's gonna screw the cable up if I do that. I could do that, but the cable would be screwed up. I wish I could rotate this rod, but the rod doesn't rotate. See? Like, so I could do that. See that? You think that's better? I mean, it's better visually, perhaps, because the cable's not dangling now. So maybe visually that looks a little better. Now it's upside down, but I don't know how that affects the capturing of the audio. Here. You can get it. See, there's so many ways you can maneuver it. That's why with the directional ones like the Shure that you said, you just point it and have it off camera and point it at you and it sounds better. This one, you have to be talking to the front. So now I'm talking upside down to the mic and I don't know how that affects it. It won't affect the audio being upside down, no? Sounds the same? I can even do this. Now it's even more off camera. See that? Now it literally blends in with the background. You can't even really see it. But again, I don't know how it sounds. The audio sounds upside down now. Well, that's fine. Just do a handstand and listen to the podcast back. It'll sound better. Wow. All right. Well, thank you for your suggestions here. I'll look into it. I'll try to figure out what I want to do here. The crazy thing about the Shure is the one that has the built-in preamp. So it's in the mic. Built-in preamp provides... Yeah, look. You can add auto gain and everything. I mean, I don't care. I don't even use the preamp, honestly. It just kind of sits there. It is true to reduce the amount of peripheral products. I wouldn't need the Scarlett anymore. The Focusrite Scarlett that I've been using for a year. But I'd have to configure it and get it working, which, honestly, I like that this one's already working. And if I get a new mic, I just plug it in XLR and it works. I don't have to mess with it, you know? Carl the actor says at this point it would be easier to just say what doesn't have RGB nowadays. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. You can get RGB on anything, and it doesn't even make sense. Like, why would you want RGB on your mouse pad? You really want RGB there in your face as you're trying to play, like blaring in your eyeballs, right? Like, get RGB on the boom mic arm. The idea of the boom mic arm is to have it off camera. That's what you have the boom mic for. Why else would you have the arm? It's just, well, you know, the whole idea is it doesn't block your camera shot. It maneuvers the mic better in a place where it doesn't affect you. Why the holy hell would you want RGBs on it? Anyway, and by the way, it's not really RGBs, it's LEDs, right? RGB and LED are different. LED is the more modern thing. Like, these are all LED lights. You know, it's funny because they call them RGBs, but they're really not. They're way more versatile than just RGB. But anyway, all right. So how does this sound? You think this sounds good? I'd say this is a pretty good setup for now. I actually do have, of course, again, I'm trying to compare all these. I have another one coming tomorrow. The other one that I have coming is a 3-arm system, not 3 arms, but 3 parts to the arm. This is a 2-arm system, which is good. It goes high, as you can see. Oh, that's actually really good how it stays off camera there. Look at that. But there's a 3-arm system that I'm going to try, or I keep saying 3-part system. The 3-part system, I think, goes even higher. So I'd be able to actually like arch it higher up and go down at the angle. So we'll see. It's coming tomorrow, and if it's not good, I'm just going to return. That's the thing. The good thing is I could easily test these products out, and if they're not good, I can return them. That's what the whole system is meant to do, you know? So we'll see. And thank you for the recommendation. I don't know if I want to drop that much money on a microphone, quite frankly. Super Bonchon says there's also a company called Electro Voice. They do RE320 or 20. They're more expensive than the Shure MV7, but give a very nice sound. I'll look into it. I'll look into it tonight. Because some of these, it looks like if I order them, I can have them by Saturday. In which case, then starting next week, we could test them out, you know. I'll look into it. Oh, this is just, again, this is not a name brand. What is this called? Inno Gear or something like that. There's like a zillion brands of boom arm on Amazon. You can't tell what's good, so I bought 2. One of them was terrible. And then this one is good. The arm quality is good, but the clamp it came with was trash. So I had to use the clamp from the one brand and the arm from the other brand in order to make this thing work. Well, it's funny enough, you know, when I bought my setup 10 years ago, it was good stuff. Like, this Focusrite Scarlett was known as one of the highest rated preamps. And this microphone, I mean, this wasn't top of the line, but this microphone was known to be one of the better microphones for what I was doing. You know, in 10 years, everything changed. Everyone became a podcaster. Everyone became a streamer. Everyone started using new equipment. And now it's all different, right? If I move it there, now you can see the tree, but now it's not as angled. So it probably doesn't sound as good. It's further to the right. See, right now it sounds good, right? But when I watch this. Now I bet it sounds way better, right? But that's the thing. You need it like in your face, and then it sounds great. If it's right in the face, it sounds better. You get more bass, right? But now it's in the shop. So it's like, there's your trade-off. What do you want? Do you want it in the shop? It still looks good if I use the effects, you know? I don't know how to trust you guys because, well, just listen to this. Ruben says that's way better. Avarice says it sounds the same. Diamond says right, and he's agreeing with me that it sounds better. So everyone disagrees. Some people say, oh yeah, it's much better. Others like it's the same. No, I'm not claiming any free games on the Epic Store because anything that's free, I probably already played or I'm not interested in. They're not going to be giving away blockbuster games I didn't play or anything. It does sound the same. So this sounds the same as when it was further up. Let's test that again. This is live testing, okay? So this is close to me. All right, now I'm going to move it back up. Okay, how does it sound now? Now it's almost completely off camera, as you can see. Does it sound exactly the same, or does it sound a little different? Kyle doesn't notice a difference. Mash Jabs says sounds a little bit more crackly. Sounds far away, less low end. Less bass. Exactly right. That's 100% correct. That's what's going to happen with this style of mic. The closer it is to your mouth, the better it sounds when it comes to the deep tones of bass. That you've hit it on the head. It's going to sound fine looking like this. You know, in that position, it looks great. You can't even see it, right? Like invisible mic. Even here, when I game, it won't affect. Invisible mic. But you're not going to hear any bass in my voice at all. So that's the trade-off with this style of mic. If it's closer to me, it sounds better for bass, but it's on camera. If I have it up at an angle, it's, you know, it still sounds good, but there's no bass in my voice, but now you can't see it, which is excellent. Look at that, it blends completely into the background, right? Shaolin says, less bass, but not bad. Doesn't really need all the bass. The only way to get full quality, but also angled like this, is to buy the expensive mic. Like if I buy the $360 Shure mic, it will angle well because it's directional. It'll aim at me. I'll be able to have it up here, and it'll still sound great. You'll still hear the bass and everything. So I guess I'll look into it. Maybe I will get it. Maybe I won't. I'll think about it. Like I said, this is the last push for upgrades. This is the year-end stuff for me. After 2025 hits, I don't want to be spending any more money on the setup. That's why I'm trying to get in everything. I got a wrist rest now for my keyboard over here. I actually have a pad coming for the table here because this is my new movable PC desk. And I have a full pad. Instead of just getting a mouse pad, I got a pad for the whole top. So now I'm going to put everything down on it. It's going to be comfortable and padded and everything. That's coming. Oh, yeah. One other upgrade. This is something I've wanted to do for years, and I may finally be able to do it. I got 2 different mountable arms for this desk, for the webcam, and for the new lighting system. Now, I don't know if they're going to work because I don't know what the weight limit is on these things, and they're not clear. You read them, and it doesn't even tell you. Again, you order anything off of Amazon, you have no clue the quality you're getting. So I have one. It's a clippable arm that's a bendy arm, and I was going to put the webcam on that. And then I have another one that's a big clippable arm that's actually supposed to be sturdy and durable, and I wanted to get that one for the light. And if I can clip those onto this desk, I can get rid of every single tripod in the room. I would no longer have to have any tripods with legs sticking out, tripping and everything. That's my #1 problem with my office setup, is that there's always been 100 tripods out. Right now I have 2, one for the camera, one for the light, and I had a third one for the mic. I just got rid of the one for the mic. So now my goal is to try to get rid of all of them, to have everything on these arms that are attached to the desks. Then I have no trippable area at all. Everything would be nice and neat, open air, able to move around. The tripods are out of control, and I've had it for like that for 10 years. So, oh, I know. King Penguin says, you know, if you get a new mic, everyone's just going to complain about it. Oh, I'm well aware. Every single time I've changed anything or upgraded anything, everyone complains. Everyone complain. Right now, people are complaining about the lights. Oh, I don't like the lights. Why could you just do one color? What's wrong with this? It's a nice flat, gradient between red and green. Oh, no, I don't like that. Ugh. Get an adapter so you can mount the lights and camera on a single tripod. Then I might as well just buy a new tripod too, because there's the thing. All my equipment's old. The tripods I'm using are over a decade old. They're not great. The legs don't even work that well. That's why I'm looking to replace them too. Like, I don't want to buy new tripods. I don't really need tripods. I just need a way to mount these things to point at me. And the tripod is more for, like, you're filming outdoors with a camera and you need to angle and everything. And the truth is, for example, when I was unboxing these PCs and setting them up, it was hard for me to turn the camera around and show you because I was on a tripod. Now, if I get these onto maneuverable arms, I can easily, like, rotate the lighting around, rotate the camera around, and show you things in the room if I ever have unboxings and stuff like that. So anyway, so I got a lot of stuff coming. Yeah, what do I have coming tomorrow? Tomorrow I have the pad for the top of the desk here, the two arms, one for the camera, one for the lighting. I don't know if they're going to work. And I have the other new boom arm coming that's supposed to be the 3-part instead of a 2-part. So all that I got coming tomorrow. Oh, and another kind of wrist rest as well that I wanted to try and see if it was any good. I have no clue if it's going to be any good, but I wanted to give it a shot. Because I'm trying to get the best, most ergonomic, best feeling rests and everything, because I'm going to be PC gaming. You don't want your arms to be hurt, right? So that, and then, yeah, and so now I'll look into this mic today, and I'll make a decision if I want to get it or not. If I get it, that's going to be a big improvement from this 10-year-old mono mic. I don't know if that Shure is, that's probably like top of the line, right? That Shure mic. That's probably like super high-end quality audio, everything great. Yeah, Chicken Tender says your background. Well, listen, we'll get to that. That's what I mean. Like, that stuff we can worry about later. Right now, my background looks great with this frame, with whatever sign I have, and with my lighting. What you see over here is kind of negligible. Like, every month, I'll probably put a piece of art there or whatever. It'll change a little bit. That's not that big of a deal. We could easily change that out later. Not a huge deal, I feel. James says, at least you're not using toilet seat headphones anymore. I have open air now. I can actually use the speakers on my TV, and they sound great, and you guys don't hear them, so that's good. See, that's another concern, too. If I get this Shure mic, it may be so sensitive that it's going to pick up the TV. Right now, with my microphone, it's a directional mic pointed just at me. So since it's pointed at me, the TV is coming from a different direction. It doesn't pick it up as bad. This Shure mic now might pick up the audio from the TV really badly. And now I got to mess a bunch with filters. Actually, Kyle, that's how it used to be. He says maybe the table's just with 2 black tablecloths. That's how it used to be. It used to be just like 2 black or 1 black, 1 green. And then we started changing it up. Like for Christmas, we would add the white for like snow. But then we ended up doing Philomania stuff this year. So I added the full Philomania thing there, Yeah, Mr. Jizzle says, I am a PC gamer. Dude, he says, oh, wait, you're going to be a PC gamer now? Yeah, I am. I've had this PC since August. Now I have keyboard and mouse. I'm 100% gung-ho PC, unless it's on console only and there's a reason to play it on console. I'm a PC gamer now. Oh, the Shure mic will be the best. Like, if I buy the Shure mic, it'll be much better than this one. It's just a matter of getting it to work properly. Because I guarantee what'll happen is, day one, I'm going to turn a game on. Everyone's going to be like, oh, there's echo. The game is echoing. So I'm going to have to use a bunch of filters. That's all I can do. I'm going to have to turn on my filter. My filters are on now, but probably tweak them, make them less sensitive. How much you want to bet that Shure mic is way more sensitive than this one? So I'll probably have to turn down the gain and everything, the sensitivity stuff. Didn't I get an RGB mic a few months ago? Is that a really cheap mic? Fifine or whatever it's called. And I just bought it quick because I needed it to work with PlayStation. That's what I got. Yeah, and the stupid thing glows RGBs. I hate it. I don't want them, but you can't turn them off. By default, it has stupid RGBs glowing. The P5 Fun mic, yes. All right. Well, we had our audio discussion. Right now, it seems like having the mic at a tall angle like this is working well visually. Question is, audio-wise, is it good enough? I'm curious. I'm sure people are watching the podcast back, and you're going to give me feedback, right? You're going to be like, oh, I liked it this way or that way. Let me know. But very strong consideration. I'm probably going to get a new mic since people are now saying, yeah, you know, these are the ones everyone's using. Maybe now is the time. Like I said, I would have to do it now, okay, so that it's a tax write-off at the end of the year. It would, you know, do it now rather than wait a whole year for it. So this is the time, probably today or tomorrow, get my last purchases in with the setup. And again, if it's something that I don't like or ends up not working, I can just easily return these things anyway. Yeah. Okay. No, that's how it works. When you're buying stuff, you know, it's a tax write-off. And I want to be able to get it in for the end of the year. Like, it would be stupid for me to wait till January. It doesn't make sense. They have it count for this year. A lot of businesses do this. They try to get everything in by the end of the year, so that way it counts for that year rather than the next. Okay. All right, well, I think we've done a long enough mic segment, haven't we? All right. A couple quick shout outs. By the way, guys, I mean, here we are 45 minutes into the podcast. I haven't even mentioned anything yet, but look at our goals. At the beginning of this week, we were just at hitting barely 20. Remember, we hit 20 on Sunday, did we not? And now we're at 26 on Thursday, which is amazing. You know, thank you so much, guys. You allowed me to hit 5 goals during my Christmas marathon, and then we even hit the goal on Christmas Eve. So thank you. We're at 26. We're all, more than halfway to 30. Remember, at 30 is the next DSP Tries It. And we're talking about Taco Bell with their chicken nuggets. Unless you guys have another idea, which I'd be open to, like maybe you know there's another fast food item that's been made available or that would be more interesting, I'm down for that. But right now, it seems like the Taco Bell one is the one that people want. So let me know. But, I mean, we're only 4 goals away. Today, I'm doing 2 streams. Tomorrow, I'm doing 2 streams. We could literally hit them all and have this done on Sunday. We could do DSP Tries It. Okay? Awesome. All right, I would love to do that on Sunday after the first stream. Okay? So please support the streams. Thank you in advance to anyone who does. Everything counts. Super chats, super stickers, memberships, gifted memberships on the YouTube side, subs and gifted subs on the Kick side, and tips, which is across the board because they're through PayPal, which is third party. FYI, we are at month end for Kick. Kick cuts off basically what you raise via subs around the last 2 days of the month. So today and tomorrow are essentially the last 2 days of the month for me on Kick. I would love to have a strong finish. So if you could, subs and gifted subs on Kick would be tremendously helpful today. If you're on Kick and you want to help out year-end support for the streams, please consider gifting some subs. We're way down on subs on Kick. You know, at one point, I had something like 600-700 subs. We're down to 400 now. So it would be great to get some more today. Thank you in advance to anyone who supports. On the YouTube side, we actually have seen an uptick of memberships because I got a bunch of gifted memberships over the last week, so thank you for that. So anything, really appreciated. Let's get some support rolling, please, my friends. Let's hit that goal today and add another one to the goals hit counter. Hey, let's double it up and hit 2 or 3 goals today. All right, let's do some shout-outs, and then we'll get to the Christmas segment, shall we? Okay. So I received a $2 tip. Jamal says, if I bought you a bright RGB vest from Amazon, would you wear it? As a gimmick, as a silly thing, yes, I would. I would not be wearing it all the time, nor would I would not put it on every stream. You got to understand that something like that might actually bother people. You know what I mean? Like, the RGBs behind me, they're adjustable. We can, you know, we can make them so that they're visible for everyone and not a problem. An RGB vest is probably going to be so bright that it's going to bother people. And quite frankly, I doubt that you'd find a great one either, right? Like, they're probably all cheap, right? So I would say, is as a joke? Sure, maybe I would, but it's not something that I would want to be doing on the regular. As you know, this year, all right, we phased out vests, we phased out glasses and hats, we phased out the silly goals. Every once in a while, someone asks for one, I throw one on, but we phased them out because they were kind of stupid. You know, the whole idea of the vest streak was a joke from 2010 that people just kept wanting to continue for years and years. Like, nah, we got to phase them out this year, and we did, thankfully. See, Kickstaff Greg says, maybe RGB vest for $1,000 in tips. No, maybe it would be like for a milestone, right? We hit some kind of a support milestone. I throw the silly vest on. Or, right, we raise a ton of money on one stream and I put the vest on, right? It wouldn't be 1,000. Maybe like, I don't know, $500 insane stretch goal raised on one stream. Put on the ridiculous vest, right? Something like that. But that way it's not every stream. I don't want to be putting it on every stream because that's going to bother people, including me. All right. I received a 666 tip. Did you check your mail today? No. It's the day after Christmas. I did not check my mail today. And if there's something in the mail that I don't recognize, it's going right in the trash. So, so better hope that there's nothing in the mail sent to me that I didn't ask for. Because as I've stated, sadly, as fun as that might sound, oh, you're a content creator and people want to send you stuff that you could like just have as like a gift or something for Christmas. Sadly, no. Not possible. I have so many malicious people over the years who have done some pretty messed up stuff, sent me some messed up stuff. Anything that shows up at my house that I don't know what it is, I literally throw directly into the trash can, and I never think twice about it. It's the thing I need to do for the safety of my family. I know that sounds scary and weird, but it's just true. That's how I have to treat it. Really, really sad, but, you know, there are really sick-minded, malicious people out there. And so that's it. I just have to be safe. So, no, I didn't check my mail today. It's the day after Christmas. I don't even know if the mail probably isn't even delivered. If they even are delivering it today, who knows with the United States Postal Service. What if I threw away 100 grand? Well, number one, I don't know how anyone could have put 100 grand into the mail. You know how much money that would be? Like, even if it was like $100 bills, it would be like a giant thing. Like, what are you talking about? Okay. All right. Well, folks, second half of the show. All right. I'd like to talk about Christmas. And then when we're done with that, very briefly talk about the schedule and my plans for the near future, because I have a couple announcements to make in regards to timing and everything. As you know, there's certain things that have been on hold for a while that I'm planning on possibly bringing back. So I want to talk about that, but let's talk about Christmas. All right. So, yesterday was Christmas. And I hope, once again, I hope that everyone out there had a great one, that you had a safe one, a fun one, good food, good friends, good family, whatever it could be. And I hope you got everything that you wanted for Christmas, right? People have been asking me over the last several weeks, Phil, what is it that you want most for Christmas? Well, is it money? No. Is it a bunch of, valuables and goods? No. All I wanted was a really good day with my wife. Because this year has been a stressful year for us behind the scenes with a lot of stuff going on personally, mentally, physically, stress, health, all kinds of stuff, okay? And all we want is some nice time together where we don't have to worry about things going wrong and we don't have to worry about these outside factors, but instead we could just be together, okay? And we got it yesterday. We did, all right? Let me tell you about our day. So, woke up in the morning and immediately wanted to have a nice breakfast together. So I went downstairs and made my coffee. And my wife, before we even made breakfast, she booted up Power Wash Simulator and started playing the same stage that I had been playing on the Christmas Marathon. I told her about it, and she was like, oh, really? That's in there for free now? So she started playing those stages. I think first she did the ice rink. It was the ice rink stage, and then there's the Santa's Workshop stage, right? So she had started doing the ice rink last night, and then she booted it up in the morning and started playing I think she finished the ice rink, and then she had started the Santa's Workshop. And then, because it's funny, because I was sitting there with my cup of coffee watching her play, and we're just relaxing. Jasper's awake, and we fed him breakfast, and we're playing with him a little bit. And she got caught up in it. And she's like, oh, just one more spot. Just one more spot. It's like, no, let's make breakfast. So we went and made breakfast, and it was good. We made turkey bacon, scrambled eggs, and Belgian waffles for breakfast. And one thing that I will say, as you've probably noticed, all right, I've lost a good amount of weight. At one point, I was 240 pounds in my life. That's the heaviest I've ever been. You know, as my career as a YouTuber went on, I was always over 200. I was like 210, 215. In the last, couple of years, I've lost a lot of weight. I've changed my diet and my whole attitude about stuff. And I'm now down to around 195. So because I've changed it, I don't eat as much anymore. Like, even on days when you would gorge or whatever, I can't eat as much anymore. All right. So we made all this food. We made all this turkey bacon and these waffles and scrambled eggs. And I ate one piece of turkey bacon. I ate 2 Belgian waffles, and I had some scrambled eggs, and I was full. Even though, I used to be the kind of guy, oh, it's Christmas morning, I'll gorge myself, and I'll just keep eating and eating. Can't even do it anymore. Like, you get to the point where your stomach doesn't want it anymore. You're like, you don't want to eat that much. So I didn't, I was like, this is good on me that now I've trained my body to not expect to be gorging constantly, and it doesn't even want that much food. It actually starts to feel upset if you're giving it too much food. So that was good. All right, so we had a good breakfast. The only bummer, okay, there was a bummer. We had bought a whole bunch of fruit from the grocery store on Saturday, which was my last day off, to have with the waffles. It all went bad. And it was in the refrigerator the whole time. We had bought bananas and strawberries because we wanted to have them, chop them up fresh, and have them with our waffles, like fruit and waffles. They were all moldy and disgusting only a few days after having bought them, even though we refrigerated them. So it's kind of messed up. I think, I hate to say it, out here where I live on the West Coast, everything's very lackadaisical, very little discipline, very little caring about too much. Like, really, the people out here are just like fucking up in the clouds. So I guarantee you they're like, oh, who cares if this fruit's old? Just fucking put it out and have all these suckers buy it. Who cares if it's their Christmas celebrations and families are getting together to have good Christmas feasts? Let it all rot in a few days, right? Pretty screwed up. So we ended up throwing up all the fruit and just having like waffles with a little bit of butter and that fake syrup. I didn't want that, but it's like, so we have. So we ended up having with that fake syrup shit. Exactly. We didn't want to keep the bananas in the fridge, but we had to because they were already turning brown. We had the bananas for one day and they were already turning brown. It's like, what the hell is this? So we put them in the fridge and then they just turned to mush. So outside of that, though, breakfast was great. And the only other real complaint we have about the day was it was warm and very rainy. And it's been like this for many weeks here, like many, many weeks of rain. We would have liked it to be a little colder so we could have had a white Christmas because there was enough precipitation. Good Lord, if it was colder, we would have had snow, which would have been beautiful for Christmas. But instead, it was just rain, rain, rain constantly. And because of that, it was just very soaking wet outside. We have animals that come by, birds and squirrels, and we put out nuts. We did. The squirrels are coming by. They were soaked from head to toe. Like, drenched squirrels were coming by to get nuts in the morning. Like, oh my God, these poor squirrels. But, so then after we ate breakfast, I watched my wife play some more Power Wash Simulator, which was nice. And then I played with Jasper a lot yesterday. Jasper, he's excited because he doesn't usually get a day where both of us are with him. Usually it's either he's in the office with me while my wife is at work, or he's downstairs spending time with my wife while I'm working. He never really has time to spend with both of us together like that. So he was very excited. We had this new toy that I told you about. His favorite toy is, we call it birthday streamers, but it's just because of the color. So what it is, it's a bunch of like streamers that are different colors and some colored feathers, and they dangle from a line that attached to like a little rod. So it's kind of like a little fishing pole, right? Like, oh, I'm fishing for kitties. I wiggle it around and he chases it all around. He loves this thing. He goes crazy for it. He pounces on it. He bites it. He jumps it. I lifted it up. He jumped across the entire couch. He leapt over the top of the couch across the living room and grabbed it out of midair. Like, yeah, he loves it, man. So it was very fun. I played with him a lot over the course of the day. And you know, my wife and I had some relaxing drinks and stuff like that. You know, I had hot cocoa and stuff like that. So then eventually, we had to start making dinner. Dinner is very elaborate this year. Okay, for the first year ever, we've never done this before. We made a spiral ham, which was huge, 7-pound spiral ham. Now there was no way we're eating 7 pounds of meat, so I actually cut it in half, and half of it we frozen to eat at a future date for a meal, and then the other half, which was about 3-4 pounds left, we cooked in the oven. But we had all these other things we did. So we did 2 kinds of potatoes. Okay, my wife made homemade mashed sweet potatoes, but then also made this new dish called cheesy gold potatoes. So the sweet potatoes, obviously very straightforward. What do? You chop them up, you boil them, mash them, and you add a bunch of ingredients. You know, your brown sugar, your cinnamon, your butter, etc. But as we're cutting the potatoes, one of them is not standard sweet potato. Like, I guess there's different kinds of sweet potatoes. I don't know. I'm not a freaking cook or an aficionado of this stuff. So we're cutting the first sweet potato and it's orange. We go to cut the second sweet potato, it's white. We're like, what? And we're looking at them, we're like, they look exactly the same from the outside. Like, no lie, until you cut into it, you can't tell the difference. So someone at the grocery store must have got them mixed up and put some of the white ones in the area where the orange ones were supposed to be. So I just happened to grab one, and I'm like, gee, I wonder now this is going to taste different. You know, it looks the same, just the color is different. Does that mean the flavor is different? So we ended up having like 2 giant orange potatoes and 1 yellow one, and we boiled them, we mashed them. When that's done, we work on the cheesy potatoes. So we got a whole bunch of these Yukon Gold potatoes, which we chopped into like fourths, and then down again into smaller chunks after that. Boiled those up, but only for a little bit. The idea was to tenderize them. Then put them into a baking pan and put all kinds of seasoning and stuff. This basically making this cheesy concoction. It included sour cream, green onions, a whole bunch of seasonings, some cheese, like shredded cheddar cheese and stuff like that. And then you roast them in the oven with that. So it turns them into this like homemade cheesy potatoes. And then we ended up having, what else? We had some stuffing. We had some cranberry sauce. So we had rolls. But again, as I told you, as I'm getting older now, I just can't eat as much. Like, I've cut down so much. So we ended up making this giant spread. And I didn't even have a roll. And I barely, like, okay, the spiral ham. Wow. To have a fresh roasted spiral ham on Christmas, that was amazing. I've never done it before. So all we did, it's already pre-cooked. When you buy these spiral hams, they're pre-cooked already. But what you do is you put them into a roasting pan and you roast it for like a half an hour. You take it out and you make a glaze and you pour this glaze on it and you spread it out. And then you roast it for another half an hour. Oh my goodness. Any piece of that ham that had the outer portion tasted absolutely amazing. Like, oh, absolutely delicious. Now, even the inner parts of the ham still taste good. They're still juicy and tender and delicious. But obviously the part that has the glaze on it is going to taste better than the others. So much meat. Absolutely ridiculous amounts of meat. So we ended up each having some of the meat. I mean, I would argue I probably ate maybe less than 1/3 of a pound of the meat. Because that's the thing, like, there's so many other things. I had that. I had the cheesy potatoes, the sweet potato mashed potatoes, the stuffing, and the cranberry sauce. I didn't even have a roll. And I just had one plate. I was completely and utterly stuffed. I couldn't go back to get seconds or nothing. Like, I just can't eat that kind of stuff anymore. Too heavy. But we have an insane amount of leftovers. Like, today, we're not cooking at all. It is 100% leftovers, just taking a little of everything and warming it up. And that's good because you don't want to have to cook the day after Christmas. That's the thing, like, the food yesterday was outstanding, but the problem is the cooking and the cleanup. It took, like, no lie, it took us, I think we started making dinner around 5:30, but we didn't eat until after 8 because that's how long it takes. You know, all that prep work, the baking, like, it was like 3 hours of cooking. And while we were doing that, we were watching Christmas specials. We watched Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas on DVD, and then we were listening to Christmas music after the fact. So we actually got to do some Christmas specials and stuff while we were doing the other stuff, which was fun. So we finished all that up, and then at the end of the night, we ended up watching the Holiday Baking Challenge show I guess it was from like Food Network or Cooking Network or whatever from like a million years ago. All those cooking shows are now on HBO Max. So if you have Max, you can watch all those kind of shows, and it's fun. You know, they're making cookies, they're making cakes, they're doing all this crazy kind of stuff. That's all holiday themed. Really, really fun to watch. And just kind of relaxed and had some more time with Jasper Kitty. So overall, 2 amazing meals. You know, a lot of relaxing time. I saw Kat play a lot of like Power Wash Simulator while we were listening to Christmas music. We watched a Christmas special. Got to play with Jasper Kitty a lot. You know, and the best part, nothing bad happened. Like, there's not even a thing I can think of yesterday. Did it rain a lot? Yeah, we would have liked the white Christmas. Big deal, right? But outside of that, nothing. I mean, the fruit was rotten, but everything was still fine. You know, it was a good one. Like, there has been some disaster Christmases. You remember a few years ago I told you about our disaster Christmas where we were making a roast, and we listened to this recipe of how to make this roast, and the recipe was awful. So we ended up overcooking the roast way too much. It was dry and almost flavorless. The recipe was atrociously bad. So the roast was ruined. And then we were like, well, we don't really have a dinner now. What do we do? And we tried calling places to see who is actually doing like food on Christmas. We had called a pizzeria, right? And of course, it wasn't a real pizzeria. It was probably like Pizza Hut or something. And the teenager on the line laughed at us. We called the order, and the teenager laughed at us and put us on hold and never went back on the phone. Like, wow, what a nice fucking person on Christmas, right? We're desperate. We just need something to eat, and they won't even take our order. They're being a bunch of dicks. Anyway, so anyway, you know, that's nothing like that. Everything went well, no disasters. Oh, one other thing, our neighbors weren't home. So because of that, it was kind of like having the neighborhood to ourselves. Like, there was no noise, you know, like when your neighbors are home, especially during the holidays, sometimes they have friends and family over and they make a lot of noise. You hear banging and everything. It was quiet. It was a quiet day all day. We kind of had the place to ourselves. No, you know, annoyances. Everything went well. The food was good. Relaxing day. I wish we could have more days like that. Like, really, if we could have like one day a month that's like that, that would be superb. But the problem is, usually on my day off, it's a day when I have to cram all my junk in, go to the grocery store or go to the dump, buy pet supplies, return items to the store, appointments for like, you know, doctor or anything else, all has to be done on my one day off. And because of that, it's like, you know, really stressful. My wife and I want to have another day off to ourselves soon. We're just not sure when. We have to try to figure out her schedule for the next couple of weeks. And once we do, it's a very strong chance that in early January, we may take a day off just for ourselves rather than it being the day off where I run around and do errands. So I'll let you know if and when that happens. But, you know, for now, business as usual, me here full weeks, probably for the next week or two until I can figure out when the next day off will be. That'll be like a special day. Okay? Okay. All right, so that was our Christmas. I hope that you guys had a great one too. Many of you were already talking earlier in the chat about the things that you guys did, which is awesome. Now, let's quickly outline the schedule for the next week of what's going on. And I want to tell you about my year-end series, and I want to tell you about the politics show, okay? So, excuse me. In regards to the schedule, today it is Call of Duty, and I'm really excited, all right, about Call of Duty, because we get to play it on keyboard and mouse, and now I actually have like a wrist rest and everything. So today's going to be an exciting full stream of Call of Duty, and we're going to see how it goes. I hope it goes well. I hope today ends up being super fun and exciting, and I do well. I played the other night for the first time on keyboard and mouse in over a decade, and I did really well. Like, I was at the top of the leaderboards almost every single game. I was kicking ass, getting kill streaks. It really went well. So I'm looking forward to more of that today, and hopefully we can keep that up and, you know, get better and better at the game. I feel like, honestly, after now playing keyboard and mouse and seeing how maneuverable everything is with the mouse, I definitely see how the gamepad has held me back. Even the gamepad that had the special attachment and everything to make it more pro, this is just so much better, okay? So I can't wait. Let's see how well I do today. Maybe I can get my second ever chopper gunner. We'll see. Tonight, it's the continuation of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. We're now in Egypt, the second major area of the game. It's fun because we're exploring and different things are going on. We just got our new outfit that disguises yourself as like one of the people working on the archaeological dig. And we'll continue to explore and do stuff. And that should be a good chill time tonight on the late stream around 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Tomorrow, major stream of Stalker 2. Finally, I get to play it again. I know I've not gotten to play Stalker 2 a lot. Some people have requested I play it more often. But there's not much I could really do about that since it's been so busy lately. I'll be playing it on keyboard and mouse. Now, one of my complaints about Stalker 2 is that the game is very difficult. Maybe if I can aim better and hit more accurately on keyboard and mouse, maybe it won't be as tough. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'll actually get better shots off, headshots and stuff more often, and then it won't be a big deal that the guns don't do so much damage or whatever. You know, who knows? But we'll see tomorrow when I play. And then tomorrow night, the return of Friday Night Fights. Fighting games returning to DSPGaming for the first time in several weeks. I'm not sure what to do. Some people want Street Fighter 6 and some people want the Marvel 2 collection. You know, a lot of people kind of hype for Marvel right now because Marvel Rivals is out. So I'm thinking about, I'm leaning towards the Marvel 2 collection, but I don't know if we're going to find enough comp. That's kind of a problem. You know, you want to play a fighting game, you want comp, and I don't know if we're going to have comp. We'll see. I think maybe we'll start with the Marvel collection and see if it works. And if it doesn't, then we switch to Street Fighter 6, okay? I'm off from streaming on Saturday. That's my normal day off where I'm going to run errands, grocery shopping, etc. When I come back on Sunday, it'll be Marvel Rivals on the day stream, and I'm very excited to play Marvel Rivals on mouse and keyboard. Reason being, I've had issues with accuracy. Trying to play it on pad, I found it very difficult to get accurate shots, especially with the sniper classes like Black Widow and Hawkeye. I think with keyboard and mouse, that's not going to be a problem. Plus, another major complaint I've had is when the melee characters get in your face, you can't really aim and hit them anymore. But if I'm on mouse, I should be able to zip around, like turn right around and hit them quick, which is something I haven't been able to do on the pad. So I actually feel like this is going to be dramatically improved performance on keyboard and mouse. We'll find out. Okay? Yes, when I say pad, I mean gamepad or controller, correct, as opposed to keyboard and mouse. And then Sunday night, the return of Microsoft Flight Sim. We didn't do it last week because I was trying keyboard and mouse out for the first time, but now we're actually going to do Flight Sim for our weekly session. Now, for the rest of next week, it's going to be gaming, okay? Alternating between, you know, day streams of, you know, some Indiana Jones, some Stalker 2, probably some Call of Duty. Night streams, probably going to be some chill indie games like Balatro again, maybe for a stream, or maybe we'll even try Killer Frequency, which we were going to try and never got a chance to. So maybe we'll do that this week. You know, it's going to be alternation of all the games I'm playing next week, but it's a solid week of gaming, okay? So, now let's talk about two things that are in the schedule that you need to know about, okay? Number one, my year-end series, which I always do, all right, and I'm definitely going to do it. Aaron Tabor is recommending the EV RE20 mic. He says standard broadcasting mic that picks up almost no external noise. Okay. I'll look into all these tonight. What's up, Game Boy? Good to see you. I'll look into all these tonight. That Shure one, since everyone's recommending it, seems top of the line, but I'll look into them. Thank you for the recommendation. So, my year-end series. As of now, I am planning to do my year-end series the first full week of January. What is the first full week of January? Well, that would probably be between Sunday the 5th and Friday the 10th. Okay? So it's not going to be next week because I'm still wrapping up here. I'm trying to get, you know, the month-end stuff for me. You know, I want to change my setup over. I'm still working with this technical stuff. So because of that, I'd rather focus on that to end the year. Once we get into the new year, that first full week of January, I'm going to do my year-end series. This year, there's at least 2 Game of the Year awards and most disappointing games of the year countdowns, okay? Likely they'll end up being night streams, maybe 1 stream, maybe 2, depends on how much time and work I have to put into it. Now, there's a possibility of a third, all right? There's a post up on the community tab of this channel where I've asked people to nominate their favorite funny moments of all time in my history as a YouTuber, okay? I don't think people are aware that I did this post because I did it kind of on the fly the other day. And didn't really talk about it because I was busy with all the holiday festivities. So if you respond to that post and you put up a link of your funniest moments from my history, I very well may do a chill stream one night where we just reminisce about the past and watch all these funny moments together and have a good time. All right. Not necessarily that they have to be ranked, but we could watch things that people have liked as funny moments from over the years. So I may or may not do that. It really depends on participation. If I get a bunch of participation and a lot of people nominate a lot of stuff, then we'll probably do a special stream of it. All right. If I don't get a lot of participation, then obviously I probably can't do a special stream of it. Right. So let's see how many people participate in posting that up. All right. Now, one other thing. DS Politics, as you know, I've had it on hold. I didn't do it last week. I'm not doing it this week. And I told you guys, well, politics will continue in 2025. All right. So I'm here to make the big announcement. In 25 days, Donald Trump will be sworn into office, excuse me, as the president of the United States. All right. So DS Politics will return in January of 2025, either right before he gets sworn in or right after. So I'll take a look at the different news and everything that's going on in politics, and DS Politics will return to coincide with the swearing in of the new president. I feel like that's the best way to do it, because probably the biggest political news will be going on at that time, rather than me trying to do filler episodes of, oh, this is, right now I have like 2 stories that I could talk about. All right. I actually was taking a look at some of this stuff. And here we go. Let me hit save for later. I'm not messing around with the cart here. Okay. So 2 stories that I was looking at. Story number 1. Is that there's someone running to be the new chair of the Democratic National Convention who is completely anti everything the Democrats have stood for in the last decade, citing that this is the reason why they can't even beat Donald Trump. I was like, whoa. Well, yeah, you're right. The Democrats are so off base with what the American people care about. That's why they can't beat Donald Trump. So I was like, that's an interesting story to learn about that person and what she's saying. And then I don't know if you guys are aware of this. This was an interesting story. Okay. In Europe, the vast majority of countries in Europe are now no longer caring that Ukraine wins the war against Russia. In fact, most of them are saying, we've had enough. This has lasted too long. We'd rather just have them, both sides, call a truce and stop fighting, rather than being like, oh, we totally want them to win and beat Russia. They just don't care anymore. They've had enough. They basically have such fatigue over this war that they've basically have kind of given up on seeing Ukraine winning. So anyway, that's what I mean. Like, those are some of the topics I could have covered on the politics show this week. Interesting topics, but is that enough to carry a 2+ hour politics show? Probably not. So I think what I'd like to do is wait. Let's wait until, Trump is getting sworn into office. And at that point, there's going to be an insane amount of politics to talk about, right? So let's give it some time to boil. Much like when you're cooking for Christmas, right? You don't want to rush it. You want to let it cook a little bit, roast, percolate, right? Let's let it go. And then when Trump becomes president, immediately there's going to be crazy media blitzes of news and stuff about him and all kinds of politics and stuff like that. So, yeah. So let's come back then to DS Politics. For the meantime, let's focus in on the year-end series. Let's focus in on gameplay. Let's focus in on that kind of stuff. And then we can get back to politics in late January, okay? I feel like it's going to be much better to hit the ground running when Trump is president than trying to do filler episodes now. In addition, we talked about how January is light on games, but not light on content for us because we've got so many possibilities. For example, we could focus in and play a game like Killer Frequency. We could start up our first ever real playthrough of Dino Crisis. Or we could actually take a look at the FromSoft catalog, and particularly the Dark Souls trilogy, and play them on PC with the best versions, best graphics, and possible mods to have me play the absolute best versions of the games that I've never experienced before. In a lot of the cases, I played far inferior versions of these games as my first time experiences, and now it's time to see the absolute best. Also, as you know, we're at goal 26, right? So there's a strong possibility that we'll be hitting goal 50. At goal 50, we're going to do a themed marathon per your nominations. So once we get close, once we start to maybe get like goal 40, I'll put up a thread by which you guys will start nominating. Hey, what kind of marathon do you want to see? Do you want to see a Rage-a-thon? Do you want to see an Indies marathon? Do you want to see a themed marathon of a certain style of game? Maybe retro marathon where I play Mario or Mega Man or something like that. We'll get the ideas in and we will do a marathon. All right. So that could very strongly happen in January as well. All right. So that's exciting too, right? So we've got a lot going on. January is insanely light for new release games, but will be an incredibly fun month for us. It's going to be like a feeling of fresh new stuff. This new studio now used to its fullest. I'll be playing PC gaming at its highest capacity, keyboard and mouse, 1440p streaming and capture, better audio, right? Everything here will be improved. I'm very excited to hit the ground running this new year with all this new stuff going. So one final time, thank you so much for an insanely awesome 2024. This has been one of the best years of content ever for me. You understand that. Rejuvenation, a feeling of getting my confidence back, the positivity, knowing that I have people who like the content I'm putting out and want to support it to the point where I can continuously improve my content. And now you see I am reciprocating. Everything that you're giving me, I'm putting back into the setup and trying to make everything constantly better. All right? Thank you so much for that. Okay. I did miss a contribution. It was from Sonic My Shadow, who did a $5 super chat. So that's our first super chat of the day. Hold on. Wow, that was not on the home row keys at all. Okay, he says, does playing Stellar Blade and not liking it make you regret your decision to do a full playthrough when a goal is met? Regret it? No, because we already talked about it. I guess Sonic My Shadow, you probably weren't here on Christmas Eve, right? Or you didn't check out the Christmas Eve podcast. People don't want that as the goal anymore. They said, no, do not play Stellar Blade at 100 goals hit because no one's going to like it. Like basically me playing it during Christmas completely turned everyone off from me playing it, which is funny because I told everyone I had a feeling I wasn't going to like it. I had a feeling this is how it was going to turn out. But then people absolutely demanded that I play Stellar Blade on Christmas. So I said, all right, I'll play it during the Christmas marathon. And you saw how it turned out. So now what we've determined is at 100 goals hit, it's going to be the return of the viewer's choice event. People are going to nominate and vote for various different games, and they'll compete. And then whoever wins the nominations and the voting will be the playthrough that I do at 100. We haven't done a viewer's choice event in years, but previous viewer's choice events has allowed me to check out entire new franchises that I wasn't even aware existed. You know, for example, Danganronpa, Yakuza, Persona. Or it's allowed me to have really lengthy, epic fun playthroughs like Sonic 06, Skyrim, various Fallout games, and the like. So these viewer's choice playthroughs have been amazing. And I know that whatever you guys come up with will end up being great. So that's what you got to think about. And then when we get, again, much like what I said, when we get close to 50, we'll start the nominations process for a marathon. When we get close to 100, we'll start the nominations process for whatever this big viewer's choice playthrough will be. Okay? No, Alfred, I don't hate the game. The point is people just didn't, I don't want to reiterate. Guys, please watch the Christmas Eve Level 1 podcast. I don't want to completely repeat myself here today and be a broken record. In a nutshell, when I played it on Christmas, here's what I found. Okay? Well, during the Christmas event, I should say. Here's what I found. Graphics are outstanding. The game, is gorgeous to look at. Graphically on PS5 Pro, it runs amazing, correct? Story is pretty much bare bones, non-existent. No one's playing it for the story. They're playing it for the flashy visuals, the combat, and the eye candy of the characters. Okay? Let's be honest here. But ultimately, the problem with Stellar Blade for me is that it's essentially exactly the same thing as Black Myth Wukong. Run around, fight generic enemies, mash combos, press dodge with a timed event, parry or time dodge, wash, rinse, repeat, charge up in a special move, use it, now go back to your mashing combos again. It's the same game. Like, I'm not even kidding. I played it, I was like, wow, it feels like Black Myth Wukong. The only difference is it's linear. Like Black Myth Wukong is an open map where you go around and you fight optional mini bosses and you kind of explore a lot. And honestly, the world's not that engaging. It's kind of boring. In this game, it's just linear, but it's the same fucking game. So it's funny because Stellar Blade came out before Black Myth Wukong. So I don't know why people didn't call out Black Myth Wukong for kind of being the same game, because it really is. But yeah, like for me, it's just not great. Sorry, I don't, I'm not a huge fan of Bayonetta. I'm not a huge fan of Devil May Cry. I'll play them, and I have. If you haven't noticed, I skipped Bayonetta 3. I had no desire to play it. I did play Devil May Cry, what was it, 5 or 6? Whatever the one was, the last one. And I thought it was good, but I wasn't in love with it. I literally played through it once and said, I never want to play this again, right? So now when these games come out, this style of game, I'm just not that interested. I mean, I gave Black Myth Wukong a shot because everyone says, oh, it's like Dark Souls. It's not like Dark Souls. It's literally the same button mashing combo, timed dodge, parry, special move game. That's the whole game. There's nothing else to it. You run up to an enemy. You do your combo. You dodge. You do your combo. You dodge. You parry. Special move. You've beaten it. Woohoo! It's just not fun. To me. To you, it might be. And if you like that, more power to you. You can, good on you. Play it. Enjoy it. It's not for me. So the funny part was, after I played it on the Christmas Marathon, everyone's like, no, just don't play it then. Like, there's no point. What are you going to do a whole playthrough of torture when, you're not going to like it and we're not going to like seeing you play it? So forget it. So it's off the table. Now we're doing viewer's choice. Snarf. What you're saying is so ridiculously nonsensical. Lies of P was the same, but you loved it. You're being contrarian. If you think Lies of P plays like Stellar Blade, you're actually mentally stunted. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say. You actually are slow. And you would really, need to start thinking before you speak. It's not even the same genre of fucking game. They don't play the same. There's nothing similar between the two games. Lies of P is like Bloodborne 2. Weapons that transform and have special abilities and special combos and things that you build up in a gothic horror atmosphere with a great plot and everything. It's the complete polar opposite, and you're an idiot. So now enjoy your ban because you are a fucking idiot. Okay. All right. So yeah, all right. So that's everything I have to talk about, guys. Today's Thursday, right? I was just gonna say the landscapers are here today. Normally they'd be here, but it was Christmas yesterday, so it sounds like they're outside. So I'm gonna close the window. Give me a sec. All right. So we have a little bit of extra time. Let's now open up the show to some Q&A. Let's do a little bit of chat before we adjourn and we get into Call of Duty for today. Again, guys, thank you for chilling. Thanks for enjoying the Return podcast. I hope now you're feeling good. I'm in a good mood for today. I'm excited for all the stuff we're about to do. Please support the streams. Right now we're off to a slow start, but that doesn't mean anything. We very well could pick up in a minute here, and that would be great. Again, for me, this is the year end for me. So right now, in the next couple of days, if I could have some great days on Kick, that would help me a ton. So if you're watching on Kick, if you could give some subs today or tomorrow to help out with the support, that would help me tremendously for the end of the year. So thanks in advance. And any contributions, greatly appreciated. All right, it'd be great to get something on any direction here. So thank you. Okay, so let's see what people want to talk about. Soul Potato, how are you? Good morning. Good to see you here. Happy holidays. What am I going to play GTA 6 on when it comes out? Whatever it's available on. And from historical track record, when Rockstar puts out a new GTA, they only put it out on console. So I'm going to play it on PS5 Pro, right? Makes sense. If it were cross-platform and was actually coming out on PC the same exact day as PS5 Pro, I'd play it on PC. But I doubt that's going to happen. So it's going to be PS5 Pro. In fact, the viewer who donated the PS5 Pro to me this year outright told me that's likely the reason why they really wanted to give it to me, because they want me to have the top of the line console for when GTA 6 comes out. Outside of that, they did purchase Dragon Age Veilguard for me, and as you know, we played it for like 10, 12 hours, and everyone got bored and said never play it again, so I didn't. But yeah, that's pretty much the extent of it. It's going to be on there because that's going to be the best version available, right? What's up, X-Shooter? Happy holidays to you. Gabriel, how are you? Welcome. My afternoon's going great. Thanks for asking, Dark Souls Master. James says, Marvel Rivals got me into the comics again. Maybe it'll do it for you. Very doubtful. So now that I upgraded to Windows 11, my taskbar has a bunch of crap that's popping up. So I'm just going to turn off these widgets. I think then they'll go away. Let's find out. Yep, good. How annoying. These widgets were popping up with news and shit. Like, I don't want that on my taskbar. Get the hell out of here. What did I think of Path of Exile 2? I thought that it played fine. I thought that the graphics were good, but it's Diablo. It's like old school Diablo. Now, I like old school Diablo, but literally when I played it, people were disengaged, said it wasn't very good, and barely supported. There was one person who came in at the end of the stream and threw a giant contribution, so we hit the goal that day, but it wasn't representative of the game being played. It was just someone wanted to be nice. So after having played it that once, I don't realistically see it really working. I mean, if I played it again, I'd be playing it on keyboard and mouse, not that it would play any better. You know, it's the same game. I feel like that's the kind of game that's addictive and fun for the person to play, but not for people to watch. If you're known as a gamer who plays that kind of game, perhaps, but I don't think so. You know, for me, I don't think it's going to work. What's up, King Michael? How are you? No, I did not look at a new boxing game, Undisputed. I'm not really into boxing. I'm not really into sports at all. No one's really even mentioned it to me until you just did. So I didn't even know of its existence. Yes, I think playing Call of Duty on keyboard and mouse is going to be amazing now that I'm going to get into it. I really do. I think it's going to be night and day, being able to get crazy quick shots and kills and everything. It's going to be pretty fun and exciting. Noble Times says it's terrible. Oh, yeah. Charles says, crazy how Phil has a level 100 setup, just missing the Shure mic now. I don't know. I don't know if you get it or not. It's very expensive. I don't know. Do you think that it's going to be worth it? Do you think that that level of audio, will it really be that much of an improvement, do you feel? I don't know. I haven't had a new mic in a decade. I've loved having this mic. I think this mic is great. But I don't know how much of a change it would really be to have a high-level mic now. Kyle, we've done viewer lobbies before in Street Fighter 6. I know that you're relatively newer to, watching my stuff. So last year, I played a hell of a lot of Street Fighter 6, okay? After about 3-4 months of playing it, during the late summer, we did viewer lobbies, okay? And here's what happened. First week, everyone's excited, right? Everyone wants to see it. So I'm playing, and basically, for the most part, I'm kicking everyone's butt. There was maybe 1 or 2 people who joined the lobby who was decent, and we had a good set. For the most part, I'm just whooping everyone, all right? A lot of people wanted to see me beat up my trolls, and I did. Dumbass trolls joined the lobby, and pretty much all of them got fucking spanked constantly, okay? So that was week 1. Week 2, all right, well, some different people joined. For the most part, I'm still winning almost every match. And, okay. Week 3, everyone's bored. Everyone's like, oh, he's doing this again? Why does he even do viewer lobbies? Why is he running from real competition? Ah, we know why. He joins the viewer lobby so he can beat up on people and look like he's good. If he would just play online and ranked, then we get to see him get beat up a lot, and that's really what we want. It doesn't make sense that he's doing these viewer lobbies. He's playing the same people, and he's just whooping them every week. I'm not kidding. So I think I did 4. I think I did 3 or 4. I can't remember exactly how many weeks we did it. But by the end of me doing them, everyone was already complaining and saying, oh, this is boring. This is a waste of time. Phil's running from the real challenge. He should just be playing ranked. And so, after hearing that feedback during the month, I stopped doing the viewer lobbies, and I started playing ranked, and that was it. And we never went back. And to be honest, the same exact thing would happen. Probably one lobby would be a bunch of trolls, all insulting names, disgusting things, so that's what they want to do. They just want to get attention. I would beat the shit out of all the trolls for the 1 week, and then after that, no one would care again. So that's why I don't care. There's no point in doing viewer lobbies. I've already done them. They didn't work. The EV RE20 and Shure SM7B are the top dogs in the space. They're both good choices, with each one having slightly different advantages. I love the RE20, and I've had it for a few years. What are the advantages? Aaron sounds like he knows what he's talking about. What are the advantages and disadvantages? People were recommending the Shure to me. Like, for example, right now the problem with this mic, it's not the type of mic you can point. It's the type of mic that you have to talk to the front, which I think is called condenser mic. I'm not sure if it's cardioid condenser, but I have to have it facing me or it doesn't work. If I have it pointing another direction, it sounds very muffled and very, not good. Hence, I have to have it hanging like this, pointing towards me in order for it to work. Okay? If I have the Shure, I know that's the one you can point towards you at the angle, and that I'd have more ways to use it with a boom mic arm like this, and probably it would be better. Like people are saying, the Shure is really good. Apparently, atmospheric noise, like hopefully it would, not take in noise from, say, the TV and stuff like that. I don't know, but like here's my concern with this mic right now. When it's pointed at me, you don't really hear the TV. If it gets too loud, you can, and I do have some filters on it to stop that. For the most part, when it's pointed at me, you can't hear the TV. But it can't be too far away from me, right? If I get the Shure, or this other one you're talking about as well, the EV RE20, I believe they're directional mics, right? So they can point at you, and so they can be further back. Maybe I can have it further back in an angle or something, so it's off camera. But my concern then is it going to pick up the TV? Like, I don't want to spend over $300 on a mic, try to use it, and everyone's like, dude, every time you boot up a game, it's mad echo, and it sucks. Like, ugh. Remember, the TV is openly playing audio in the room. I'm not wearing headphones, all right? I don't want to wear headphones. I can't. If I start wearing headphones regularly again, I'm going to end up getting ear infections like I had many years ago. It has to be a whole open air environment, and it's working right now. With this microphone, I can play games that people aren't hearing much or any of an echo. So we got to try to keep it that way. Two Hatchet says, would you ever react to the Wings and Boogie boxing match someday? What? Why would I do that? Why in the heck would I do that? Not a fake boxing match between two guys who aren't athletes, and apparently was one of the worst things ever done? I don't know, man. A thing that, by the way, before it happened, I called out should have never happened because it was a joke. It wasn't meant to be serious to begin with. The biggest difference between the two is how they sound, different levels of bass. I think the SM7B is good at not picking up external noise, but I know that the RE20 is great for that. Oh, see, I don't know. I don't know what to get. They're both XLRs, right? I know the Shure is. Aaron says he has things playing through his speakers. It never picks up anything other than him talking. Okay. Charles says, I've heard of Shure as being the gold standard of audio. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, I'll have to look into it. What was the other one? EVRE20. Let me find that one too. I'll look at both. Oh, Lord. That's even more expensive. Holy, dude, those are $500. Dude, that's a $500 microphone, dude. I think if I'm gonna get one, I think I'm gonna get the Shure. I don't think I'm dropping $500 on this thing. That is insane. Wow. You wanna know what's really funny? So you type it in, right? And then the first thing they give you is a bunch of sponsored crappy mics, like the Fine and shit. They're all cheap, like $50. Yes, I'm searching for an incredibly high-end audiophile microphone. First thing you should give me is this low-end piece of crap, right? Super Bonchon says, that's why I recommended the RE320 earlier. So the RE320 was down here. I just saw it. $290. So you're saying the RE320 is a similar mic to the Shure, and that's why they're in the kind of the same price range. Gotcha. Large diaphragm dynamic vocal microphone. Damn, they use it for a lot of things. They use it for like for bands, for recording instruments and stuff too. So, all right. So if I was gonna get it, it would either be this Electro Voice, which is $290, or the Shure, which is $360. Holy moly! All right, I'll look into them today. I'll try to figure it out if and what I want to do. Because I can still use them with the Focusrite Scarlett that I have here. Like, I don't need another preamp. This thing's been working great for me for 10 years and still works great. So, Aaron Tabor says, maybe look at some YouTube videos. Maybe I will. I'll watch some videos that compare the sounds between the two. I think I will. Well, Super Bonchon says, the $250 to $300 range is about the baseline for a good mic. A lot cheaper to just move your current mic closer. I mean, yes, but then it's the whole point again. Try this again. I swear people don't get it. They really, I could explain it till the cows come home. People still don't get it. All right. First time ever in my life, I have the opportunity to have a professional setup. Until now, really, it was always bootleg. It was always half-assed, right? Now I'm actually to the point where I'm doing it right. Yeah, I've got the PC. The PCs were the biggest hurdle. The PCs are in line, working perfectly. Now it's all about the other things around, the bells and whistles, the other things, that go on there, right? Do I have a mic that works fine? I do. It's been working fine for 10 years. Okay? But now I'm doing different things. I'm doing effects. I'm playing PC games at a different angle, right? Different quality. And you've noticed actively this mic's been in the way. It's been like right here. And every time I go to do this, my arms disappear, right? So it's like, okay, if I want to fine tune things, I've got to mess around a bit, right? So I got a boom arm. The boom arm's working. We're messing with it today. We figured it out. But now to get the best, like, okay, ready? Here's the best audio with the boom arm. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. I sound really good now because my microphone is literally right next to my face. Does it not sound amazing now? Now you can hear all the inflection in my voice, the deep bass in there, as well as everything else. Like people are saying, it's not as high-pitched. When you're closer to the mic, it sounds better. The problem is now the entire mic is in the shot, and if I have it like this constantly, if I use effects, now I disappear, right? If I'm doing gameplay, it's in my face. Of course, it sounds better. This is the type of mic. This mic, which I think it's called, I think it's called a condenser mic or cardioid mic. I can't remember exactly what it's called. This one, you have to have it next to you. And if you do, it picks up your voice very well, but it also is good at not having background noise because it's really just picking up this direction, this Audio Technica mic from 10 years ago. Okay, that's how it was designed, right? So I can sound great, but I'm always going to have the mic in the shot, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's how this mic works. the further away that I back it off, okay, and I either get it out of the shot or if I go higher up, okay. So now it's out of the shot. It's only at one angle. It can even blend in with the background depending on how much I mess with it, right? But now it sounds a lot worse. That's how this mic works, right? It's not a top of the line mic. It was never meant to be a top of the line mic. It was a way that I just got into the whole more professional level of recording or whatever, over a decade ago when I started doing direct capture live streaming every day, right? So there you go. So the question is, what microphone could I get that would be able to be, pointed at me from, say, this distance, and it won't be in the shot. In fact, I should be able to, like, blend it in, right, with the background so that you guys won't see it actively. And I'll be able to do this, and now I have all the effects, or I could be playing a game, and I have all the effects, and you know what I mean? And you don't see me getting cut off or whatever too much, but it still sounds good. So now Aaron says you're absolutely going to need to be close for the EV or the Shure. That's how they're intended to be used. You want the mic to be about a fist away from your mouth. No, Sin, they do sell mic stands that come from the bottom. That's the worst for my setup. That would literally block the camera shot. If I had a mic stand right here, here's what it would be. Look, I'm going to follow you. Here's where it would go. Like directly blocking my body. And same thing, when I go to game here, it would be right here in front of the camera blocking my body. I need a high up one. This is the style that I need for my setup. In truth, a lot of streamers can use that because they're sitting at a desk with multiple monitors in front of them. So they have it come from the side or whatever. That's not my setup. My setup is my TV is over here, my camera's here, and I need it to be able to record me and not have anything blocking here, right? Of course, that's true too. Super Bonchon says, to be fair, 99% of people don't need anything close to the mics that are now being suggested to fill. Yeah, I know. But, this is my life, right? I'm trying to get this back to where it was, and now I can't. It was like over here. Like that, right? Yeah, it was like right there. Yep. It was like right there and then angled down. Like that. Because I was gonna say, because it was in the blue. It was like firmly in this blue area, just like that. That's how it was. So it was like blended in completely. Now you can't even see it. You wouldn't even know that mic was there unless I pointed it out. But now it doesn't sound as good, right? So if I had the Shure and it was aimed at me, right? Because it wouldn't be hanging down like this. Instead, it would be pointed straight at me. All right? Would the Shure sound better? It probably would, honestly. And it probably would cut out background noise. But I don't know. It's such a perfect position. Yeah, you can't even see it. You're like, there's a mic there? And keep in mind, that's the blue hexagon in the background. That'll look different when I change the lighting. But I also have black hexagons, and I'm going to alternate between the blue and the black. So some months those will be black, and then it will really blend in. Super Bonchon says, maybe check out the Shure CVB. Oh, man. Hold on. The Shure CVB, huh? Oh, God. There's a million of them. What is this? CVBO. Sound boundary microphone. What in the hell is this? I don't even know. I can't even find it. I can't even find it. It says Shure Centriverse CVB installed sound boundary microphone omnidirectional mic. That's probably not what I want, because if I have omnidirectional, it's going to pick up the TV bad, I feel. Right? Like, that's the whole opposite of what I want. I want focused sound on a point from me talking. If you do omnidirectional, you know what these are good for? This is exactly the kind of microphone. I knew it. This is for an office conference room. You've got a bunch of people around a table, and they're going to be talking, and it's going to catch it and put it across a call. That's exactly what that microphone's for. That's a conference room microphone. That is not for what I use it for. Like, literally, that would pick up all atmospheric sound. You'd hear the air conditioner going on in the summer. You'd hear the game through the TV. Yeah, that ain't going to work. I used to use those. Not that brand, but I used to have those when I worked at my office job. We had those kind of things. All right. Well, guys, we do have to adjourn. I appreciate you guys hanging out and being a good audience for the podcast and talking me through. Right? Hopefully we'll figure stuff out. Hopefully we'll get to a situation where everything will be perfect. I feel like we will. It's just a matter of testing, you know, and doing things. Like I said, tomorrow I've already got a different boom mic arm coming. This one is 3 arms instead of the 2-part like this one is. It's 1 and 1 and 1. This allows you to like better have an arc with it. And so if that one actually goes really high, I might be able to go like way up here. Like I might be able to have it like right above my head, depending on how big it is. And then maybe we could arc it down better and it would be even better. You know, I don't know. So that's coming tomorrow. Like I said, I got a few other odds and ends. We got a pad coming for the desk. Some more like cushioning for my wrists. And then the last big thing coming would be if I decide to get a mic or not. But I wanted to get it in for year end, you know, get it all in for this final month for tax write-off purposes and stuff like that. It would make sense to do it now. So we'll figure it out. All right, guys. Thank you for a chill podcast. I hope you had a great Christmas. And I hope that you'll come and hang out with me for all the fun gaming. Like I said, this next month is a big focus on gaming. We got the year-end events coming up. We're going to have things like when we hit the goal of 50, a special marathon that's going to happen, focusing in on playthroughs and the politics stuff and all of that. We hold off until it gets more interesting, you know, later in January. But it's going to be a good few weeks here, I feel. All right? Okay. Guys, thanks so very much for watching the Level 1 podcast. Tomorrow, we'll talk about how my return to Call of Duty went. I sure hope it'll go good. I hope that it'll be well, and I'll kick butt today. We'll find out. But thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate you all. See you tomorrow.